Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your magical moon message. This is the peace dealer. I'm outside. I only came outside because Leo is the first social sign, and I wanted to I felt moon. I felt the impulse to go outside, be social. Do you want to see the very first thing I see as I walk outside on this moon in Leo? How you doing, man? 7 rays, baby. Don't ignore the signs. Moon in Leo, 7 rays. Okay. As long as I have lived in this luxury apartment complex for like 2 years now, I've never really seen a 7 rays truck. This is the first time I'm seeing a 7 rays truck on the moon in Leo representing the sun. Anyway, this is going to be quite the spicy transit. Let me not even say going to be. This is quite the spicy transit. And the third house aspect of this is going to prepare you to express the courage of your voice and to put you in opportunities to challenge yourself to speak your heart. Leo is all about talent. And if you think about what Leo represents as a performer on stage, you can't really be a coward on stage because the message that you want to deliver or perform isn't necessarily going to translate and communicate properly or boldly. Okay? As Kevin Hart has majestically said, say it with your chest. And that's really what this Leo relationship to Gemini is. As I love to use this analogy, I'm the shit is me just thinking I'm the shit and saying that. But then when we induce the feeling of Cancer, right? When the moon was in Cancer, that turns into, you feel it. It's like, I'm the shit. I'm the shit versus I'm the shit. I'm the shit. And then once you actually add Leo to the equation, which third house, 60 degrees from that idea in Gemini, is being strengthened by your heart's courage, you can now proclaim, I'm the shit. There's like energy and passion with that. It's beyond being felt. It affects you. And the reason why this is such an important transit is as we step into the final activation relative to the new moon. So this is putting you in a position to understand the courage necessary to take this new insight of what and how you express and communicate and to say it with your chest. This is going to reward you relative to every time you step up to the challenge. Flex. Leo is flex season. Leo season. Leo is the flex sign. It challenges you, especially as an infinite and an infinitier, to most definitely empower the strength of your attitude and your message through the direction with the moon on Mars that you are charging and activating this understanding of your talent through. So it's a very fancy way of saying you want to say everything you say in the spiciest way ever. Imagine you're a Puerto Rican from the Bronx and nobody can talk to you a certain way, and your name happens to be Jennifer Lopez, and it's cool because this puts you in a position to really be the king and queen you are meant to be. But in all seriousness, this final activation is going to strengthen the quality of your attitude and your message so that once we start to understand the detailed analysis of the facts about this truth you're experiencing and creating, this will enable us to take the bold quality of what you've strengthened with your attitude so that you can now perfect it as we integrate this new ideology. this new mindset, all right, this enlightenment of your consciousness. So there has a really great potential for this to be fun. The presence of Mars that's in Leo squaring Jupiter on the North Node in Taurus right now further compounds the definite need for you to stand up for the value that you represent and have manifested, okay? And in the tarot, Mars in Leo is the whistleblower card, the Seven of Wands. So this encourages you not to back down when it comes to important ideas and important messages that you want to say. The positive thing about this, and this is where Leo gets dramatic, the positive thing about this are the outside influences, okay? Squares and oppositions, 90 degrees and 180 degree angles represent outside influences. And if you think you're on stage expressing your message, this towards a wider audience is going to be met with support and criticism and hate. And the positive thing about this are all the energies and influences against you or hating on you or undermining the quality of your message, because that pressure only strengthens more, especially with added support, the quality of how boldly and how substantial what you're saying is. Cancer filled the substance of your word, and now Leo is boldly projecting it. So this is definitely getting ready to test your courage with the quincunx to Saturn and Pisces, to make sure that as bold as you are speaking what you say and really holding it in your heart to express this authentically, you also are able to integrate this sense of courage and this quality of expression with the beliefs you have about yourself, regardless of if you're performing into a crowd where everyone is hating on you. Would that undermine your performance? Do you care so much about the response from the crowd that it inhibits your performance? I take the WWE approach, the Rock turning heel, coming out to an entire audience of people booing him. He does not let that affect his performance. He uses that to invigorate himself. It's peak drama. And so if people are hating on me and I'm on the stage, I can hit them with the FU and perform as powerfully as I can. I'll let my performance do the talking. I'm not going to let extraneous vibrations inhibit me. Kind of like if I was in a basketball game performing and the crowd wants me to miss my free throw. That focus and that determination enables me to still express my heart and not necessarily get slipped up from people who, in seeing you charge your power and the strength of your word, will immediately get intimidated if they don't match that level of authenticity, and now you trigger insecurity in them. The reason why Leo triggers insecurity in a lot of people is because they're not shy on expressing their love of self and everything that's awesome about them. And so someone else who's also awesome is not going to see that as bragging. They're going to also share into their accomplishments and be great together. Someone who's insecure will probably see that as them trying to compare. In some cases, that's what it is if there's too much narcissism on the Leo end. But regardless, even in that case, someone secure knows that that doesn't reflect towards them. And this is going to help you understand with the Pluto opposition where this definition of the strength of your word takes place relative to the collective, where we did have the Sun-Pluto conjunction, or we did have a Mars-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. Now it's complete in Aquarius. And this is going to bring very extreme transformative shifts and changes relative to how much more boldly you act and perform in spaces that might have been uncomfortable for you prior. This is where that Uranus and Taurus square compound the fact that this is expanding your value and how eccentrically you're able to express this without giving in to peer pressure and social expectations of not being cool enough or being too corny or not being normal enough, all of which doesn't really matter at all because they're held by subjective opinions or expressed through subjective opinions that are barely really constructive. The moon in Virgo will give constructive criticism, but really are more tiered to dim your light. So shout out to Ty Phoenix. She has first of all, Ty does not miss. I don't know if you're familiar. She reads astrology too, but like her hip hop is on point. She got features with Havoc and Rusty Jux. She has not missed, to be honest. Every track she's dropped is straight fire, and she dropped a new track called Shine Harder, and I think that's just an amazing, I feel like that track encapsulates this moon in Leo, sun in Gemini, trying to, stifle your light. Just shine harder if they try and dim you. And this is through the expression of your ideas. Remember, you're thinking as if the world you're creating is already here. That's the Gemini season lesson. You're creating new programs in your mind to make magic. So what you're saying is not just your thoughts. These thoughts are affirmations that you are using to create your world coming into Sagittarius season, where this will be complete and you see it, the meaning of it. And Virgo brings it into reality. So if you have 80,000 thoughts a day, what are you thinking? And you want to make sure the moon in Leo draws out this spicy, dramatic, bold, you know what I'm saying? Fat Joe-esque energy that is very royal and is not shy on expressing their ideas and their heart. You're understanding this element, and with the charge of Mars, it is revving you forward so that you will be inspired with an idea. The 90-degree activation from 3 degrees Gemini to 3 degrees Moon Leo is going to begin inspiring you with what style to actually approach the way you communicate before the moon is in Scorpio, and we purify the integration of this style by taking this boldness and adding so much more deep layers of nuance socially to transform our behavior relative to the door we're opening right now. So be open for very passionate new ideas, but also be open to being challenged to share ideas that might be controversial, that might not be widely accepted. And don't fall into the trap of hoping to be accepted mainstream or giving in to peer pressure. If the cost of giving in to peer pressure is to compromise your authenticity, then throw the middle finger up to those social expectations. And those of you who really, pass that challenge, you will be greatly rewarded with this activation. Because once we begin integration, extended magic moon message coming soon for that, this is going to now make very real the ideas you have been planting the seeds for, and you'll start to see them sprout through your real experience. So before then, you want this moon in Leo transit to strengthen and express as boldly as you can these ideas. You can sun roar, anything that actually expresses your mind and voice. And, any opportunity to do that socially will literally strengthen what seeds you're planting. So be on the lookout for very exciting serendipitous developments, but also don't back down from any drama or any forces or groups or anybody influencing you or wanting you to not be you. All right. Align with truth. Don't necessarily just say anything just to get a reaction, but make sure you're coming from this true place and let the magic take over as you will show yourself what you have been busy creating. You stay blessed as always. And may you activate this golden truth within you so that we can all shine harder. Y'all stay blessed. Once again, Godspeed. Peace.